Hello. Hello, good evening. Sava here from Football Heritage TV. How are you all? Another day, another day in the life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan. How are you all? Has today been a bit calmer than the last 48 hours of Tottenham? Is everyone glued to their TV sets or their radio or their phone waiting for the note that Antonio Conte has gone? Today, we'll talk about a few things. Lots of talk that Paratici is going to walk as well, or be pushed, whichever way you want to see it. Lots of talk about Tuchel. Lots of talk about Mason. Lots of talk about Ruben Almiron. Pochettino. The club never ends. So let me see who's in the chat, and then we'll have a good old conversation about it. Just a quick one. I love this. I love these comments like this where people go, Sava, are you happy now? I mean, no, not yet. I'm not happy because he's not gone, but I will be when he goes. So thank you for that. And he said, Conte is gone. Is he? Has he gone? He hasn't gone yet. Let's see if Spurs can finish inside the top four without him. Jay, here's the difference between me and you, my friend. I don't care if we get top four. Bigger picture. This is the thing. Bigger picture. I don't care. Top four doesn't mean anything to me right now. So, but good note. So, Sava, are you happy now? Not yet. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got JGR Make. Big up, my man. I hope you are well. We've got Jacob from the United Spurs of America, who I still haven't texted back. I'm so sorry. I will. He said, hell no to Tuchel. Man has been missing since Conte ruined him with a handshake. Listen, we'll talk about this in a minute. Before we do anything, smash the like button, people. Let's get that up to 100 likes as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We are chasing down. We're just over 200 away from the 4K. So come on, guys. We've done well to get this far. EA has said there isn't a point of another winner at Spurs, not while Daniel Levy. It would be another failure. I listen. We're gonna talk about Tuchel. What I would say to people, don't always think that a YouTuber's title means they agree with what's in the title, all right? Draws people in. Robski in the chat, big up Rob, has said, no matter who we get, if not given money, we'll be looking at the same situation this time next season. You can't polish a turd. Sue has said, Tuchel or God Almighty, doesn't matter. We'll be in the same situation 18 months from now. Not necessarily. I'm going to come to that in a minute, Sue, and I'll tell you why. The managers are not the problem. I'm going to disagree with that. I hated Conte. So for me, he was a very big problem with me supporting Spurs. Jazz Fusion has said, with Sue, no interest, 10 games. Look at what is going on opening week. A usual said Paratici needs some Colgate. Brilliant. He's also gone on to say, you know what? I wouldn't mind Tuchel. I love the way he switches up play mid-game. Stuart Such is here, said Tuchel's a top manager, but if we get him, we'll be in the same boat this time next year. I'd go for Company or De Zerbi. Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Finn has said, every day that goes by, I'm getting increasingly worried about the summer. Billy, big up Billy Horrocks, has said, Tuchel will be such a brain-dead decision by the club. Enrique is our top target, according to Dan Kilpatrick and Jack Pitt-Brook. Yeah, lots of names flying around for sure, Billy. Lots of names flying around. Mr. Pads has said, much respect, Sav. A great show with Dan and Kenny earlier. Interesting discussions. Yeah, just been on with two Arsenal fans and interesting conversation with them and see what their feelings were on the whole situation at Tottenham Hotspur. Billy's gone on to say another ex-Chelsea defensive win now manager. I won't read out everything because otherwise we'll be here all day. But is there anybody that is in favour of a Thomas Tuchel? I mean, look, let's break this down with Thomas Tuchel, shall we? This is a man that's managed Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, to name a few. My worry with this is that this is another manager that is for the now. This is another manager with no history of building. This is another manager where I don't think the football is going to be to the fans' liking. And for me, it just doesn't make sense. Now, listen, I'm not saying that he's coming at all. I mean, look, the reports are silly. You and I know, we all knew, all of us, we all knew that the moment Conte was sacked or there was talk of him being sacked, that there was going to be so many names mentioned to and linked to the Tottenham Hotspur job. And that's the way it's been. And we didn't expect any different. You've got, I mean, so far I've seen Vincent Kompany, I've seen Michael Carrick, I've seen Will Steele, Glasner, Enrique, De Zerbi, Poch, Mason, Tuchel. There's lots of names flying about. You can even get Jose back at about 150 to 1 with the bookies. Philly has said Sooty and another puppet with Levy Hand. By the way, everybody, 150 of you in the chat at the moment. So quite a lot of people are early doors in the first 6 minutes. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please do. Nigel has said afternoonies. Afternoonies, you. I like that as a word. Boring day today. Come on, Spurs, get the sacking done and take Paratici with you. I'm going to talk about that man in a second. Aditya said, I don't what Paratici has to do with the matters on the pitch. His recruitment so far has been very good. We cannot I cannot disagree with you more, Aditya. I think his recruitment has been very, very poor. So we'll talk about that. The Tottenham Tyrant has said, I want Michael Carrick. We could talk about that. I've got a show more geared toward Michael Carrick tomorrow. Says, I think Tuchel football is not as bad as you say, Savo. Look at BVB. Yeah, but I watched PSG and Chelsea and it was just mundane. I don't want okay football. I want a manager that goes for it. I want a manager that wants to implement a philosophy. Brian has said, managers are not the problems, the crybaby players. I think there's a lot of problems. I think there's so much problem. And I think everyone has to take a slice. Win Surfer, big up my man. He's a channel member. Said, as a Chelsea fan, I don't know if Tuchel would fit right now. Maybe if you had got him directly from Dortmund. Well, maybe so. Yeah, I agree with you. Anthony Lynch has said, Conte, boring negative football, no plan B, get him out now. There's a man I can listen to. I agree. I do not like his style at all. Poch will go to Real Madrid. Can I ask why? If you were Real Madrid, why is Pochettino your go-to? What's he done in football? Why would he go to Real Madrid? I'm just asking, why would he go there? Absolutely, as Jacob said, big up everyone. Hit the like button. Come on, we're only on 34 likes and 180 of you in the chat. Smash the like button. Please subscribe. Let's set a target. Currently on 3,767 subs. Let's get to 3,775. So if 8 of you could go over and subscribe. Only 8 people. 8 people. That's not a lot. 8 of you can go over and subscribe now. I'll put the link to the channel in the chat. And then that would be much appreciated. 8 of you. And let me know when you have so I can thank you. Alex Ray has said it may be a risk, and I know nothing will change with our owners, but I feel like Gallardo fits like a glove. Gallardo is another one we can talk about. Lots of people want to talk about Gallardo. Big up my man, Perchy TV. If you haven't subscribed to this guy, do subscribe to this guy. I said, no. Tuchel is a huge no. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Stop shouting at me. I don't want him either. Let's have a look. Who else is in here? We've got John R.M. and said every top manager will be reluctant to go near us, I think. Poch, Jose, Conte couldn't get a job done. Why would you risk your reputation? The club is a poison chalice. Yeah. Sue said, I can't imagine any manager worth his salt wanting to be Levy's next scapegoat. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, isn't it? You're not wrong, Sue, in many ways. Big up Ian Barron who says, smash the likes. Come on, people, smash the likes and subscribe. Help the channel grow. 2 people since then have subscribed, so thank you very much. We just need 6 more. Jimmy Effer said, where's you getting this headlines from? Look, it depends which source you look at. Lots of sources today talking about Tuchel being a leading candidate and talking about Paratici maybe going on his way out. That's where these headlines come from. Brian said, even Tuchel is a Spurs fan. He'll be the same as Conte and Jose. He won't last long before the crybaby players start crying to Levy. Well, look, let's move on to this then. This is why I don't think a manager like this works. I get heavily criticised in some quarters of the Spurs fan base for this opinion I'm about to share with you. But for me, I have said Tottenham Hotspur need a manager that can build. Tottenham Hotspur need not a Poch, but like when they brought Poch in, someone who can take over a club that's in a little bit of disarray and somebody that can work with young, hungry players, bend, shape, mold, sculpt, whatever word you want to use, into a team. Excuse me. And for me, I don't think all these managers, the Contes, the Joses, the Tuchels, the Enriques, I don't think that is what they do. That is why I would go for a younger manager, a hungry manager, a passionate manager. Conte said, didn't he, a while back? Conte said to us that the fans, that the board want to buy younger players on lesser salaries. If that's the case, then you've got to get a manager that works to that ethos. That's not rocket science. I don't think I'm groundbreaking anything there. That's obvious, right? You've got to have people on a plan. Now, in regards to Paratici going, for me, I think it makes sense if you're getting Conte out, get both out, start again. Start again, and that way you can bring in a manager and a director of football at the same time that have the ethos this club want to adopt moving forward. Right? There's no point bringing in a manager when if Paratici wants to play this same turgid style of football that Conte's been playing. Get in a director of football that believes in playing progressive, forward-thinking football. Now, before everyone shouts at me, I'm not saying go gung-ho, but build a team. It might take a couple of years. Yeah, sure. It might mean some people cry because we don't get top 4 for a couple of years, but look past the end of your nose. Top 4 is not the be-all and end-all. Let's build a team for a couple of years with an ethos that want to play a style of football. Younger, hungrier players with a younger, hungrier manager. That's only I don't speak for anyone else when I say this, guys and girls. I speak for Richard Sava. Okay, I want to make that very clear. I don't speak for any of the fan base. I'm not telling any of you what you should like or should want. I can only go with what I want. Big up to you, Chimino. Big up to you. Darren D has said, hi, Savage. Do you think the next appointment is to play pretty football or to back him in transfer markets to win trophies? Darren, I think that first and foremost, the club needs an ethos. I think the club needs a culture on the pitch. What's our football ethos and strategy going to be? I think we need to stop worrying about trophies for the short term. We're nowhere near it. Build something that's sustainable so we can then win trophies moving forward. The problem is everyone wants everything. Everyone wants the next manager's coming to go trophies now. Not going to happen. Said it wouldn't happen under Jose. Said it wouldn't happen under Poch. Said it wouldn't happen under Conte. Difference is with Conte, the football absolutely stinks, in my opinion. Big up Phil P. Said hi to Severin, all the crew in the chat. Big up to you as well. Claudia says, since Saturday, Conte to be sacked. Shake my head. Seems like all the speculation bearing no fruit. Listen, Claude, there is so much smoke. There is a fire somewhere. There is so much smoke. If he stays, I think it's untenable. I think it's untenable for him to stay. Welcome to the 50 people that just joined the show in the last 10 minutes. Please, 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 we need 7 more subscribers to hit our target for the day. 7 more subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm putting the link in the chat. Please go over and do that. It really does help. Just click on that link, press subscribe, and that would be much appreciated. JJ Make said, managers who I wouldn't accept for now, Company, Carrick, Still and Rodgers. That's funny. I'd accept Company and Carrick and Still. I'd build. I'd do what Arsenal have done. I would take a look at Arsenal's book the last 3 or 4 years and build. Get in a manager who knows the club, who's young, who's hungry, who's done his football tutorage elsewhere, that wants to come in and build and grow a team. That's just me. SOF has said, can't wait for Mason to take charge and keep the 3-4-3 formation. I really hope not. I really do hope not. Jimmy Costco said, anyone who thinks Paratici has done a good job clearly has never had a managerial role. It's like going to a new company and you're only good recruits for those you brought with you from your old place. Jimmy, I can't agree more. I can't, Jimmy. I don't agree with everything you say, and I'm sure you don't agree with everything I say. But absolutely, I think he's done a really poor job, if I'm honest. I don't know what he has done to pull the wool over so many people's eyes. He's brought in a couple of players from his old club. Other than that, he's signed 17 players, and look at the football we play. Absolutely, as Phil said, go and sub, you beautiful people. 2 more people have. I love you all. Thank you very much. Please keep subscribing. It really, really does help. And as I said, when we get to 4K, we're going to be doing a massive giveaway. At 4K, we're going to do a massive, massive giveaway. I won't tell you what it is, but everyone knows I'm not tight. Ben Kaufman is in the chat. Big up, Ben. The power hungry mod is here to make sure everyone behaves themselves. Who's looking forward to Skeletor Ball? Yeah, the memes and the GIFs are writing themselves, aren't they, Ben? If Tuchel came, sorry, that was terrible grammar. JD Hogger said, Hotspur Way, 6-star, training facility, Marvin Hagler once said, can't run at 5 a.m. in silk pajamas. Well, that's new. Okay, I like that. Okay. David Clark has said, Spurs next coach, Emma Hayes. Get her in. She'll sort them out. Get her in. Emma. I like Emma Hayes. I think she's brilliant. Cold Shot says, Sava, would you take Luis or Poch? Luis Enrique, we're talking about, and Maurizio Pochettino. Look, I love Luis Enrique's football. I just feel like it's the wrong caliber of manager for what we need. I think we need to do a lot. I think we need to do a lot before we bring in winners. Claude with another one of his predictions saying Conte won't be sacked. He would see out his contract after I want Poch. Listen, I whether he goes now or the summer, it just can't come quick enough for me. He brings a circus to the football club in my eyes. Yeah, I agree with this, John. John Ellis Hall said PSG, he had big players. Real Madrid have big players. Can't see Poch working well at Madrid. I agree. I don't know if this man commands the respect of global superstars. There's the thing I would say. But hey, that's a different conversation altogether in terms of Real Madrid. Guys and girls, keep subbing. Thank you to whoever just subbed. Let's get to 3,775 before the end of the show. I wouldn't take Bielsa again. I want someone young, hungry, fresh ideas. I don't really want another older manager that's been there, seen it and done it. It just doesn't work at this football club. Darren has said, Aditya, if Paratici got more wrong, he should not be a director of football. Paratici is a fan of Richarlison. He bought Royal Hill, hired Nuno, and about to get Gattuso. Absolutely, Darren. Absolutely. I think he's living off of Bentancur and Kulu, one of which has been really poor all season, by the way, in Kulu. So for me, he's living off. And by the way, Bentancur's a good player, but very in and out. So he's living off a couple of signings that were good signings, but nothing amazing in my eyes. Paddy Hart, a big up, is in the chat. Hope you're well, Paddy. He said, getting Tuchel will be the same as before. Massive gamble if he comes, and not one that would get me excited. Agreed. Tell me in the chat, people. I don't know what you think. For me, I want to be excited again to watch Tottenham Hotspur. I want to be excited to watch a brand of football that I enjoy. I don't think I'm asking for too much there. Tell me what you think. Am I asking for too much to want to be able to enjoy watching us on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon? Absolutely. Sub to this amazing guy. It's a free hit. It's free. Boom, boom, boom. Press the button. And we're now on 3,770. So 5 to go, you wonderful people. Jamie, 1991. If that's the year you were born, I'm very jealous. Has said, is it strange there's been no news today regarding Conte sacking? Tottenham Twitter page been all day posting international players on duty like it's a normal week for them. Yeah, it's damage limitation after the circus, isn't it? That's what it is. Lasego has said, please don't disrespect Paratici. Look at players of good quality. I'll disrespect him all I want. I don't rate him at all. I don't want him at this football club. He's the one that bought Nuno and Conte. He's bought this. He's bought all these players that play this dreadful football. He's bought him. Who's he bought in that's really made a difference? I'm not a fan, if I'm honest. I'm not a fan at all. Phil P, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the beard, the face, the sexiness, has said, could even Pep or God himself, herself succeed at Spurs? I don't think, for me, Phil, it's even about succeeding at the moment. I think it's about stripping this back to basics, getting an ethos, getting an identity, and moving forward. We keep talking about success, but we are miles away from success for me. Rachel always has a pop, whoever this is. Sava, you, for more people watching this than your views on your last video. I think you're trying to copy rants. I'm not sure how I'm trying to copy rants at all. Rachel, you are going to be blocked because everything you say is just very, very nasty. So you are getting blocked. Thank you very much. See you later. And this guy, you get criticized because you have stupid views, Sava. Pierre, you're getting blocked as well. If you can't have a grown-up conversation, if you can't just have look at most people in the chat, even if they don't agree with me, they're having a back and forth and everyone's putting their point of view forward. And then we get absolutely clowns like you that have to say stupid things. So you're getting blocked as well. Well done. 2 blockings. That's good for me, isn't it? Well done me for blocking them. Stuart Sutter said, whilst the Spurs job is a poison chalice, one thing we do is pay managers well. And if they were to be that manager that got us glory, they'd be a legend forever. One thing you can be sure about is the next manager that wins a trophy at Tottenham is going to have like a statue resurrected of themselves. I've got a video about this tomorrow, Stephen. I wouldn't mind Company or Carrick. And I've got a video to explain why tomorrow. Trinidadian Deep said, at the Football Heritage, hope you're well, Sava. Is there any way the FA can investigate Levy for pyramid scam at Spurs? I think you've got more chance of the second part saying just leave a home game in the first 15 minutes. But who's going to pay the extortionate amounts and then walk? That's what I think you've got to ask yourself. Let's look at some comments. So I'm trying to bring up as many as I can. Hopefully I can do that. Kieran Big Up has said, I think Tuchel was a brilliant manager and with some players that suit his style, but I'd rather a 4 at the back manager. Listen, I definitely would like the next manager to play a back 4. However, I'm just a fan. My wishes are not their concern. Let's be really, really honest. KM Hong has said, I'll be happy with Tuchel. I expect the board to actually address the defence next window so I can properly judge the manager. I can judge the manager on his awful football without the defence. The football was god-awful going forward as it was at the back. Brian has said, bring in Paul Mitchell. I think that ship has sailed, my friend Brian. I can't see him coming back. Kulusevski, Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr, Porro, Udogie, Romero, Paratici signings could all start under a new manager. True, but Sarr's had about 2 games. Porro's had about 2 games. Udogie hasn't been at the club yet. Romero's been poor. Basuma hasn't really been given a game in his position. And Kulu's been poor this year. So, look, let's be fair. You've got to call it what it is. Foggy Foamer said, so then, Sava, that means we let Kane and Son go and build. Listen, I think at this stage, anything can go. I think we've had them for so long. I think you get a new, hungry manager. If that means losing Lloris, Kane, Son, Davis, Dyer, Højbjerg, Perisic, and get young, hungry players. One thing that we talked about last night that I'm so keen to see at this football club is some energy in the team. All the players we've got look leggy. Dyer, Davis, Højbjerg, Skip, Perisic, Kane. They all look leggy. Like there's no pressing. There's no energy in there. And I'd like to see a younger, hungrier team. That's just me. My thoughts on Mesut Ozil. I just did this on the 12th man, on Football's 12th Man podcast. Very good technical footballer who had a wonderful career trophy-wise. Will he look back and think he could have done more? Probably. Was he a bit lazy? Probably. But when you win a World Cup, a La Liga, 4 FA Cups, all those kind of things, it can't be that bad, can it? Agreed, Andrew. It is to Levy. It's not to me. I don't care about top 4. I really, really don't care about top 4. We got in the Champions League this year and embarrassed ourselves. Danny, big up, mate, has said, Sav, a question, mate. I agree. We need a 5-year plan, etc., etc. But the question is, do you think the board will give a manager time to build something? Because I don't think they will get 3 years to build. Yeah, look, I get it. I agree with you. I just think that I don't know what we're expecting. I don't know if a manager comes in that wants young, hungry players and that is young and hungry himself and almost does what Pochettino done, and then hopefully at the end of it can produce some trophies in a few years. Would that be more favourable for Daniel Levy? I think he seemed to quite like that formula under Poch. Does that work now? All I know, Danny, the whole thing's a mess, mate, right? Whatever all our opinions are, the whole thing is a mess. And I don't think there's an easy way to sort it all out. Billy has said, we have a lot of technical ability in the squad with Porro, Romero, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Kane, Basuma, Hill. Give Enrique a few years to build on this and instill philosophy. You might get your wish, Billy. You might get your wish. He could well be the next manager of Spurs. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you to whoever subscribed. Please, if we can get a few more subscribers, we're working towards that 4K mark. Show some love, people. Who else have we got? Jacob has said, I'm going to be risky here and say Conte won't be sacked. Cool. Oh, if he's not sacked, I just hope he walks in the summer anyway. So for me, I can hold out 10 games. If he goes now, cool. He goes now. Let's have a look. JD Hogg said, our fans are also the problem. The first time Poch was in trouble, fans got on his back. It wasn't really the first sign. It was crap for a year. It wasn't one sign, was it, JD Hogg? He had a terrible last year. Sorry, so many comments. I can't get all of them, so I do apologize. Craig, I do think if we don't play 3-4-3, we'll see a better Heung-min Son. I do. I truly do believe that. That's just me. Agent 71, I love it. What a name. Said, afternoon, Sam, I hope you're well. We need a young manager with no exceptions. No exceptions or no expectations? Both work, I suppose. Apologies if I don't read all the comments. Sorry, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments. Let's have a look. Phil P in the chat says, question, and say it quietly. We have upped the amount we are spending on transfers. So is improving recruitment as important as who the new manager is? Oh, for sure. For sure. With the amount of money we've spent under Paratici, and when I look at the players he's brought in, we should have a much better team. Much better team. People, there are 297 of you in this chat and 92 likes. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. We can do it. We can get there. Let's go on this journey together. We'll go to 4K, then we'll try and get to 10, shall we? Let's do that. Who have we got? Big up. Trinidadian Deep has just become a channel member. Thank you so much. If anyone else would like to be a member, please go into the channel, become a member. And from April, we will be doing channel member only shows. So that will be good as well. JGR Maker said, I think he's talking to Perchi. Billy has said Nagelmans could be leaving Bayern at the end of the season. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Young, hungry manager, likes to play football, likes to get it on the floor. Would that work? Who knows? Would anyone work? Who knows? But what I do know is this. Excuse me. What I do know is this. When we go, oh, it doesn't matter. No one will work. But we need a manager, right? We need a manager. We have to have a plan moving forward. We can't just have no manager in charge. The club's not dissolving, is it? Not going into administration. The amount of water I drink a day streaming is unbelievable. Let's see. AL, big up AL, has said Amorim of Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, sure. I take him. I like the way he plays. He looks passionate. His team look passionate. I think they play some good stuff. I take him as well. Yeah. Mario, big up Mario, has said, Sava, who do you think, in your opinion, will be the next manager? I think I've said all along, I think they will go back to Poch. That's not who I want. I said all along, I think they will. But it wouldn't surprise me if the guy does something stupid like hire Tuchel. So I'm not nothing will surprise me, Mario, whether it's good or bad. Nothing will surprise me with these owners. Big up Sava, mate. Conte complains more than that annoying girlfriend. He does complain a lot, for sure. He does. Claude said, no matter who comes, some Spurs would not be satisfied. I know I want Poch. Please leave and get Poch. Claude, look, this is the thing, right? Everyone's got their own opinion, right? So if I sat here right now, I'm just going to pluck a name. If I sat here right now and said, my number one choice is De Zerbi. Let's just say, I'm not saying that, but De Zerbi. Your number one choice is going to be Poch. Someone else in the chat is going to say, oh, no, I want Fonseca. Someone's going to say they want Amaron. Someone's going to say they want Luis Enrique. You can't please everyone. Of course you can't. For me, more than the name, I'm more worried about the philosophy they bring. Is that a fair enough statement, everyone? I'm more worried about the philosophy they bring than the name. I.e., I don't want a Tuchel. I would take an Enrique. I don't want a... I don't want a David Moyes. I would take a Harry Redknapp. For me, it's more about the philosophy of those. That last comparison wasn't right, but you know what I mean. Stuart says that's Sava totally. If football was boring, I doubt many of us would have started watching it in the first place. Wanting to watch entertaining football should be the bare minimum for us. I agree. For me personally, that's where I stand. Sorry, so many chats. Keep getting them in. I will get to them. Yeah, listen, I'm going to have a policy nowadays, guys. Look, the reason I'm doing more content, I want to get more involved in the YouTube world, but I also don't want the nasty people in it. I think that people are very quick to be very, very nasty when they're behind a keyboard. And I don't want that within this community either. So, Jimmy has said Sava is one of the only YouTubers that actually reads out comments, even if they're not super chats, which you can't say about many. Yeah, listen, I try my best. Obviously, any super chats will always get read out as a priority, and so will channel members. But I try and read out as many as possible. Let's see, who else have we got here? Simon D, big up Simon. Just chucking in a super chat. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, my man. I hope you are well. Keep smashing the likes, people. Keep subscribing. We're a few away from our target for the day. Let's have a look. Kieran has said, long shot, Sav, but how about Will Still? I mean, he's very young, isn't he? He's like 30 years of age. But, hey, listen, why not? Sod it. Get him in. At this point, let's have fun with it. What's the worst that could happen? Claude has said, Conte brought in the worst player for the season. Perisic has been awful. I think Perisic has been awful as well, Claude. We agree on that one. See what I mean, Claude? We don't all have to agree. Me and you don't agree on a lot, but you're never rude to me, and I like to think I'm never rude to you. So I agree with you on this one. Fuzzy Carter says, Savra, is that you kissing the World Cup in the picture behind you? Nah, that's the greatest footballer that ever lived. Below is my favourite ever Spurs player with David Ginola. And these are my three favourites, by the way. So you've got my favourite all-time player, Messi, my favourite Spurs player in Ginola, and Ronaldinho there, who for me was the most skillful player I ever watched kick a football. And watching him live at the Camp Nou was a pure sight to behold. And there's 5 or 6 more going up in the next couple of weeks there. So watch this space. The wife loves that this room is turning into a YouTube football room. She really doesn't. Shafay, big up, that said, at Savra, imagine if Levy uses this opportunity to sack off Paratici and bring in a director of football and a manager with both think alike. Yes, that's what I'm hoping. A mini reset without the owners going, because that's not going to happen. Let's get rid of everything else. Let's get rid of some deadwood, get rid of the manager, get rid of the director of football, and let's have a mini reset. Absolutely, I'm up for that. Where are we at? Who's messaging me there? Okay, that's fine. Thank you to whoever just subscribed to me. Much love. Simon D is back in with another super chat, and he has said, if Dyer blocked like Sava, we'd be champions. Yeah, if Dyer blocked people's shots the way I block people on YouTube, we'd be much better defensively. I like that. So thank you. Lots of talk about Gallardo in the chat. What's people's opinions on Gallardo? What are we saying? JD Hogg said we are finishing top 4 on average, but if we were more clever, who knows? We need a plan for sure. I agree with you. Andy Fennia said, great stream. I'll tell you what, Andy, when you do a one-man stream, you can ask Henry, you can ask Ranch, you can ask the League Gunner, anyone who does one-man shows us on their own. Your throat hurts and like from all the talking. So, yeah. Yes. Our squad is filled with unathletic players that aren't even very technically good. Once the manager goes, we need a director of football that can recognise actual talent. This is the big thing. Perchy and I talked about this yesterday. Perchy and I talked about the fact that there's not a lot of legs in the team, as I said earlier. I don't think we've got a lot of running in us. The reason I said I'd be happy to mix up the front three, get some young, fit, hungry forwards that want to press. Look at the age of Man City's forwards that press. Yeah, Alvarez, Haaland, Foden. Look at the age of them. Yeah, Chelsea bringing in Madueke. They're bringing in Nkunku. Yeah, young Felix, young players that can press. Arsenal, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, all young, good legs, good engine. We don't have that. We seem to have gone the complete opposite. Bill said, give it to Danny Kiriakou to the end of the season. Nah, Danny, if you're watching, I don't want you having it, mate. No, he'd play 3-4-3 and go all defensive and negative, wouldn't you, Danny? Yeah, why not? Give the job to Brian Daigle. Where's Brian Daigle? Let's give the job to Brian Daigle. Daigle for Spurs. Daigle or Kuva for me. I'll give the job to. Sorry, there are so many comments. The Park Lane Ninja here said the Park Lane Ninja is going to lead the Phil Army to victory in the war for the soul of Spurs. Absolutely love that. The war for the soul. Superb. Let's look at a few more chats. Dave Raybold, big up, just become a channel member. Thank you very much, Dave. Much love, much appreciated. As I said, from April, there will be some channel channel member only shows, so they're a little bit more intimate. There'll be I don't know how many members I've got at the moment, about 30. We'll have some smaller, more intimate shows where everyone can get involved and come on camera and stuff. Savra is blocking shows. I'm not blocking shows. I'm blocking people. I'm not blocking any shows, my man. I just think we need to make the community nicer. Everyone's got to stop talking about other people. Everyone's got to stop talking about other YouTubers. Everyone's got to stop being nasty when they're in chats, right? Because YouTubers work very hard. There you go. Sava does also donate money. So if anyone didn't know, when I'm doing my full-on charity streams, all of the money goes to charities. And in the last one, we made over 3,000. I put in 3,000 of my own money. So roughly we made 6,300 for the Syria-Turkey earthquake appeal. What I do with my current super chats, the normal ones or business as usual, 50% of those go to the British Heart Foundation every time you put in a super chat. So I try to do my bit. I try to give back a bit. So thank you for mentioning that, Alan. Apologies. Henderson in goal. I'd take Henderson. He wouldn't be my first choice, but I'd have him over Lloris or Forster, sure. Absolutely. Ben is spot on. Stop talking about other creators. I can't say this enough. It doesn't matter whether if there's 10 Spurs YouTube channels, there's a few more, but if there was 10 of us and we've all got different opinions, it's fine. Everyone's allowed a different opinion. Okay. Let people have the opinion they want. Stop. Some of you I see go between the chats saying so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that to stir things. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's not nice. And I think everyone's clicking onto you today. Starting to clock on to what you're doing. Paddy has said, if he doesn't see a picture of Gary Doherty, a.k.a. the Ginger Ronaldo, on my wall, he will riot. I'm going to let you into a little spoiler, Paddy. I tried to get one, but couldn't find it. So, no. Nick wants to jump on. Nick wants to jump onto my chat. Should we let Nick jump on? Shall we? Does anyone want to see anyone want to see Ranjit? Anyone want to see Barry? Let's send this through to him. He can jump on for a little bit and we'll have a little bit of a chat. I'll get some more comments in a second. Just give me 1 minute. Let's just see if I can send this over. One sec. 5:48. There it is. Boom. Copy. Done. And we're doing this on the fly. There we go. Paste. Done. Okay, let's get back to some comments. Claude has said, Sava, you are correct on philosophy. Poch gave us that, and he can work with these players. What I like most about Poch, he loves to control games. And if you push his team back, he counters you. Lots of love for Poch. I'm going to ask a question. Sorry. I'm going to ask a question. I've got personal training tonight and a really bad chesty cough. So, by the way, when you get to my age, you've got to go to PT just to keep fit. Please put in the chat. Big up to Mama Flossie. Thank you very much. Yeah, Newcastle fans, everyone's welcome. No longer just a Spurs fan chat. This is an every fan chat. Please put in the chat. Pochettino, I just want yes and no. Yes and no. Would you want Pochettino back? Yes or no? When you said, why not give it to Sava? I don't know what that means. I might have missed something in the chat. I do apologize. I might have missed something. Yes or no? Pochettino, are we having him back? Negative football, what are you on about? Conte didn't play negative football. I'd whip these bunch of pussies into shape. I'd play what the fans want so they can see nothing work. Danny, I knew I'd rule you out, mate. Got a little fishing rod ready for you, brother. Hope you are well, Mr. Danny Kiriakou. Go over and subscribe to Tottenham on Tour for Mr. Brian Daigle and Danny Kiriakou. Two very interesting characters, should we say. One with such a lovely man bum. Absolutely not. I do not, I do not want him in. There's so many feels in this fan base. S has said, why not put me in as manager? Listen, at this stage, I would. Where are we? Sorry, there's so many chats. If I'm missing a few, I do apologize. Big up Sava, spot on with other content creators. We'll have opinions. Yeah, listen, look, I think it's like this, right? If you look, there's going to be content creators who have completely different opinions. There's going to be content creators who meet in the middle on some stuff but don't agree. And there's going to be others that really agree. But I think it's important that everyone gets a flavor for all the channels. You know, there's so many YouTube channels for Spurs with different opinions. You've got Chris Cowling. You've got United Spurs of America with Jacob. You've got Paratici TV. You've got Spurs Talk Show with Sean. You've got the Irish Hotspur, Henry Wright TV. You've got Tap In Tobes, Tottenham Away. You've got there's loads and so many of the Tottenham on Tour. You know, smash the likes, subscribe to all of them and see what they're saying. But, you know, don't try and play YouTubers off against each other because it's just silly. It's really silly. And you know, we're not talking about anyone else. Phil Coys has said, Gallardo, get him in, bring attacking football to this club again. Yes, which is why you shouldn't want your man Conte in that you defend to the hill, Phil. Hey, I see you. I see you in the chat. Poch, here we go. These were the Poch results. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, and no. Like that. No, yes. He's magic, you know. I wouldn't complain. Yes, and no. Would you say so far we're leaning a bit more towards yes than no? No, yes, Pochin. Mark, yeah, we know you love him, Mark. You said yes about 19 times, mate. If he came back, I'd back him, but I don't want him back. Yeah, listen, I'd say that. No from Billy Horrocks. Yes from Nicky Mann. Yes from Mark again. Funny that. Didn't want him out in the first place. Yes, why not? No. No, yes, never go back to an ex. Didn't have to shout it at me, Alan, but I agree with you. Wow, yeah, lots of varying different opinions there, right? Lots of very different opinions. So many want him back, and so many don't. Now, what this creates, right? Let me say this for a minute, right? It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what I want. Levy's going to make the decision Levy makes. But what does this show us already? This shows us already. Expressions oozing, of course. Yeah, man. Subscribe to Expressions oozing. Always good fun. Always good fun. Yeah, absolutely sorry. There's so many Spurs channels. If I don't have a list of them in front of me, I do apologize. Go over to Total Odds Spurs. Hit up these guys as well. What it does show, right? What it does show about the Poch yes or no game we just played is this. If Poch comes back, you've already got half the fan base bought in. The other half are not going to be happy. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you've got this many fans as a fan base, right? You're never going to keep everyone happy. We know that, right, people? You're not going to be able to keep everyone happy. One thing I would say, thank you. There's so many people in the chat at the moment. There's 304 of you in the chat. People, please, if you haven't already, go over and subscribe. Don't be stingy. Help me get to that 4K. That my aim for the year was 2.5K. And the year ends on the 13th of April. That'll be my 1 year. And we are only 225 away from the 4K. So I've smashed my own record, but I want to keep going. I want to push forward. Yeah, I've got hunger and ambition. So if anyone can subscribe and put in, that would be really, really good. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll put the link in the chat. Please just go over and subscribe. And once we get to 4K, we will be doing a massive giveaway. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be massive and worth a lot of moolah. Mia's in the chat. Big up, Mia. I hope you are well. She has said no, but if he comes back, I'd back him. Yeah, I think that's the page we need to get to. Look, even if a manager comes in that I don't particularly want, I think the next manager, we need to kind of be united from the beginning, don't we? Here he is. One of the Phils has said, Sava, I did defend him because the club never meet his ambition. On the other hand, we didn't play free-flowing football towards the end of his tenure. I don't think we played free-flowing football under any of his tenure, to be honest with you, my man. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It's authentic. That cost me a fair bomb, the Ginola one. I don't know about the others. Thank you to the one person that just unsubscribed at me doing a little plea for subscribers. There's always one. Mum Spaghetti has said, Sava, I think Tuchel will be a great short-term fit for you. You'd open wider than a bag of chips at the back. He'll know how to fix that. Yeah, for me, I just want to see something going the other way. Henry and I are doing our own things at the moment. There's plans for the future. We're doing our own thing at the moment. But what a lovely picture of a fantastic footballer. What I would give to watch this guy in a Spurs shirt again. He was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal footballer. What I would give. Brilliant. For anyone that didn't get to see him, I'm sorry, but he was phenomenal. Who's this? Steady as Shark. Some of these names are just outrageously good. Has said, here's Barry. There he is. All right, Barry.
I'm all right. How are you? Your voice is going.
I know, mate. I know my voice is going. Do you know, I've had a really bad cough for about a week now that I can't seem to shift. Plus, I've been doing personal training that's not been helping because I'm trying to look all sexy for people like you when you come on my show. And
I've seen a sexy photo of you.
Listen, that photo I sent in the WhatsApp group, if that ever gets on the internet, I now know it can only be one of 7 people, right?
No, it'll be me. It'll be me.
Yeah.
It'll be me. I'm going to call it now.
I thought it was it's a photo of me during lockdown with a face mask on. I think I've got a face mask on. My missus's robe, my legs out. Yeah, it's a great picture. Why not? Phil P said, what are we doing for the first anniversary, Sava? Don't know. What about a massive super chat, Phil? I don't know. What do you reckon?
I reckon we got the picture finally, didn't we, from Ben of when we were talking about being in The Apprentice today. So
I like that picture. I like that picture. So Ben, he's in the chat. Ben Kaufman did a picture today in our group chat, and it was of who was it? It was of Alan. It was a picture of The Apprentice 3, right? So you got Tim Campbell, Alan Sugar, and Karen Brady, and Coover was Alan Sugar. Alex, Mr. Box Office, if you don't know, you better get to know, who's got a new content coming with a new logo and a new video coming. So go and subscribe to him. He was Tim Campbell, and that left me to be Baroness Karen Brady. But you quite fancied me in that picture. I know you did, Barry. I know you did.
Yeah, with those flowing locks, you know. I mean, you asked for your boobs to be made a bit bigger, but
exactly, absolutely.
But do you know what? Do you know what makes me laugh? Right, I know I've been listening on the way back. Even this announcement of getting rid of Conte is becoming Spursy, right? Oh, we're going to let people know in 48 hours. Oh, we're going to make a decision this week. Oh, we're going to do this and we do that. I've had about 400 notifications from Spurs on the app today and yesterday, basically saying Kane recreated this goal. Kane did this. Son did this. Peters Klinsmann's the South Korean manager. The under-18s of we've got a date for the cup final that they're in. All of this, and I'm thinking, no one cares about any of this. They just want to say, breaking news: Tottenham have agreed to part ways with Antonio Conte after Ryan Mason will take temporary charge till the end of the season.
I'm waiting, mate. Listen, look, I know it sounds awful, but listen, you don't do what you did the other day without ramifications. And look, I'm all for having absolute pelters at the board. I'm all for it. But when you are a manager of a squad of you got 25 first team players, youth team players, all the players out on loan, and you throw them all under the bus in one sweeping statement, whether he was right or wrong, Barry, how do you come back from that from a man management perspective?
Well, I think he tried to come back with it a little bit by saying I clarified everything with the board, so it kind of took the gloss off it.
It did for me, yeah.
As much as we've spoken about it before, the managers walk in, they get the Men in Black treatment, they forget everything that's come before them, they don't know anything about Tottenham Hotspur, and then they walk out and go, "Oh yeah, this club's great. Dyer's world class. All of this, I don't know. They literally got it, or they've got a hypnotist in the sense. So Antonio, you're going to go. You came in the office asking for some centre backs. We're going to send you out. You're going to say that we don't need any centre backs in your next press conference, and everything is fine. The whole world can see that it's not fine, but we're going to hypnotise you into saying that it's fine. So look, I think it's you can't get away. You can't get away from what he said. Look, what he said was right, 100%. But I think there's a time and a place, and look, maybe he got sick of it. Maybe he's just had enough. Maybe he was promised more promises that were broken. Who knows? We're never going to know what's happened. And always, I kind of always say the story's somewhere in the middle. So
yeah, I think this is an interesting one, Barry. In terms of Tequila 316, big up there, has said he never intended to come back. Now, lots of reports at the time, and Barry, most of the things we talk about in football, right, as fans, is the rumor, the report, what they said, he said, she said, this, the reports are, my mate knows that, right? So we can only go by that. My opinion was that at the time, some of the reports I heard, I thought were correct. I don't think he wanted to come back when he did from the gallbladder surgery. And I think it was more a pride thing than anything that he came back. He hasn't looked the same. He doesn't look 100% fit and healthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether or not this was just a way of advancing what he already knows, that he's not the manager at Spurs next year.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. Look, I think we all forget. I mean, look, I don't buy these players that they're upset and they need counselling or whatever nonsense that came out Whether that's true or not, I'm sorry. I'll get paid 200 grand a week, and I'll be upset because someone said I'm not doing my job. But then they're still getting paid 200. It's not like he sat there and gone, well, actually, I think this, and no one's getting paid for 4 weeks because of what they've, how they've performed, or I'm going to fine you X amount of weeks' wages. I mean, it won't make a difference. So, look, I just think,
it was inevitable, right? I mean, lots of people. For me, it felt like more when people were saying, "Oh, I don't know if he's going to go in the summer." I don't know. I could be massively wrong, but I just feel that there's been so much smoke, and as I keep saying, when there's that much smoke, there's a fire somewhere, right? Couple of rumors, yeah, you're all right, but the amount of coverage this has got now, I think we're even going to get to the point, Barry, where let's say he does stay. Let's play some hypotheticals. Hypotheticals with Sava and Barry. That should be our game. It's not very catchy, but we'll think of something in the meantime. Let's say Conte stays now. A question to everyone in the chat as well. Let's say Conte stays. Okay. Every single game, every press conference is going to be about what happened. He is going to be asked about this more than any result.
Yeah.
And I think then what it will do, it will deflect every bad result, good result, whichever way you look at it, from being about great that we won, bad that we lost. And it's going to turn into even more of the Antonio Conte circus show by hook or crook.
Yeah. No, I agree, because they'll be saying, so Antonio, you made those comments. You're still in a job. Why are you still in the job? Don't ask me. Ask Daniel. I mean, what can he say? I just don't understand. It would just take. I mean, look, everyone's was thinking, oh, it's 2 weeks or whatever the international break was, and what have you, and it'll be boring. It's still been the same thing. It's just been the same thing that it's been with everything. What's happening? When's the look? If you're going to sack him, just sack him and just announce it. Right? Why are we waiting?
Do you think though that I mean, like, I was watching Sky Sports earlier on, and basically the guy outside the ground was saying, look, it's probably one of two things, that it's either they are trying to speak to a manager who is with another club and they don't want to do it until that's done, or they're having conversations with someone who's not in a job, i.e. a Tuchel, a Pochettino type an Enrique, that type of manager. But it's all conjecture at this stage, isn't it? Like there is no solid news. We've just all been told he's going to be sacked in the next 48 hours. Romano saying it, and David Ornstein and all these people. It just needs to happen now. Can you see any way back?
Well, this football club, it could be. You could just say, yeah, he could come out and go, oh, surprise, guys, I've signed a new 5-year contract or something stupid like that. But look, I agree with you. They're trying to probably obviously dot the I's and cross the T's and trying to get everything done. But does it really matter whether they get it done or not? The issue, you've still got another 14 days or however many to our next game, or whenever to our next game, or what is it, 9, 8, 9, 12, 13 days or whatever it is till our first game. It's Everton away. Is it really gonna do any harm, considering most of the players aren't there anyway, that you just announce it and it's done and then everyone can move on? I don't see a way back. But unfortunately, like we've all said, right manager, wrong time. But how many times have we said that? I mean, Tuchel, what difference is that going to make? Another manager that, okay, he's won things and plays boring football, but he's not going to get. You saw how far he got with Conte at the start of the season. Daniel Levy's not going to put up with stuff like that. So
yeah. I've said all along. I've said many times in this show. For me, I think now we've got to get away from. First of all, we've got to get away from thinking we're close to winning things. I think that as a fan base, we need to acknowledge that there's a line where you win things, and that line's there. The Liverpools and the Cities and the Chelsea, they're there. We're down here.
Yeah.
I think the next manager that comes in needs to be young, hungry, fresh ideas, happy to take younger players into the squad, happy to build an 11 and grow, and almost repeat the doesn't have to be Poch, but the Pochettino route of a few years ago. But Levy won't want to be out the top 4. I don't know about you, Barry. I couldn't care about top 4 in the short term, but he will live for that, won't he?
Yeah, look, and then it'll be a reason of we can't invest in the squad because we didn't get top 4. And look, I don't. Yeah, I just don't see how. I just don't see how. We whatever happens, nothing is going to come out of this in a good light, right?
Right.
I think that's the issue. Nothing is gonna, because if we get top 4, it'll be the same thing of we got it and that was it and great and blah blah blah. Arsenal go and win the league or whatever. I still think that there's still some twists and turns in there, but it's when we get to 3 games to go, we're gonna have to start believing they're gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
If we don't get it, then there's no investment. Then there's the question marks, around Kane, Son, Lloris, all these others. And I just think, like we've all said, we just need a complete reset from top to bottom. And we just, like I think we had the conversation last week. If Kane signs another deal or signs an extension or whatever, or he doesn't, we'll be here this time next year talking about whether Kane's staying or going, whether the next manager's staying or going. It's just going to be the same thing over and over again. And then we'll probably announce, well, what have we got left to announce? We've got swimming pool, cinema, racetrack, skywalk. What are we going to have? A roller coaster? Is that going to be the next thing going up?
Have we got a swimming pool there yet?
No, not yet, but that's planned in the sports centre with a climbing wall.
Good. Like it. So, like a Spurs day retreat, where people can go for massage and therapy and all that kind of stuff.
I guess, you see it all I can describe Tottenham Hotspur at the moment is Levy Land. It's like he wants his own Disneyland in the middle of the
worst theme park ever.
Yeah, the worst theme park ever. You go there, you pay the highest price to get a season ticket. You go there and you're given what we're given on the pitch. You go there, you get you spend £8. I don't, but the people that spend £8 on a cold burger and chips from the N17 grill, or a pizza, or a naan and noodle because it's fancy, or all these types of things. It's just. Yeah, look, I think.
Do you know what I said, Barry? And like, this doesn't go down well. I've got to the point, right, where I think that we've wasted having players like Lloris, Kane, and Son here. I think we've wasted their prime in terms of being able to build around them. I would almost get to the point now, and I know so many Spurs fans will hate this, but I'm now going to look past my nose at the future of Spurs rather than the immediate finishing fourth right now. For me, I would almost now look at completely gutting it out and building a team that isn't so reliant on a Harry Kane. Because at the moment, I think we need to build a team that can play football without Harry Kane. Now, I'm not saying Kane's the problem. Kane's the solution. But the problem is he's the solution because we've made it such that he is the be-all and end-all. Right? Son to a lesser degree for me, but the two of them, we put them in that bracket for the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
For me, I think you need a young, hungry manager that gets young, hungry players with a good engine on them. And more importantly, Barry, can press. My worry is if you bring in a pressing manager now, Kane, Son and Kulu, that's not it. They're not pressing. Kane can't. Son, I think his legs are going to go and he doesn't look like he's got it. Kulu's not the quickest across the ground anyway. I think at some point, I'm going to say it, if both of them went and we just built a whole young team and went for it for a few years, I'd be happy. I would. I think we've wasted them.
I think you're right. And, weeks ago, months ago, we were sitting there and it was like, one, how the hell did we sign Hugo Lloris in the first place? And second of all, how the hell has he stayed for so long? Do you know what I mean? You're talking World Cup winner, and then he's World Cup winner. He's going to the French squad, and then he's like getting absolutely bantered about his, oh, look what happened at your club. Because I'm sure they've probably all got their own WhatsApp groups and everything else, and they're all bantering. Oh, Hugo, you dropped a clanger again. oh yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I'm coming back to see you boys tonight, and then Mbappe's just like giving him jokes for his club. So look, I think look, we have wasted, especially in Harry Kane. Look, we all sit there and say he deserves to win a trophy, and we should want to win a trophy, and that's absolutely right. But when we put that team out to Sheffield United, that tells me otherwise. And also from a Kane point of view, I probably thought he should have gone 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Now, I mean, where's he realistically go? Is he going to go? Is he going to go to Chelsea or Man United? They're the only probably two that you would think that he would potentially go to. And would he's got it easy. He can tell people that he wants to take free kicks, and even though he's shit at free kicks, he still gets to take free kicks. He can have time off when he wants. Obviously he goes and picks up his kids and does all that stuff, which is absolutely fine. I don't think obviously Chelsea would still have that opportunity. United, maybe not so much. Maybe he's just happy. Maybe he's just happy being a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, look, quite possibly he is. And in a way, in some ways, I feel so sorry for him. But the problem is, if you ever known a club, and I asked this to Perchi yesterday, if you ever known a club that have had the same front line for 8 years,
no.
If I look through United, how much they've evolved the forwards that have been there. Like they might have had one that was there for that long, but our front line seems to have been the same for years. And listen, I'm not knocking it. They're both very good players. But if you get in a manager that wants to play a different way, I don't want them to be the blocker. Yeah, like I think there's the nucleus of quite a good young team. It needs a lot done to it, but let's say you bring in a young, hungry, progressive pressing manager, and they go, right, okay, cool. I've got Romero, so I need to bring in a centre back next to him. I've got two flying fullbacks in terms of Porro and Adoji. Right, I've got legs in the midfield with a young Papa Sarr, right, and Basuma. I've got Kulusevski, who's skillful. When you look at that nucleus, there's some good bits to work with, but it needs a lot more ingredients to be able to finish making the cake, doesn't it? It needs a lot added to it.
Yeah, and I think that's always been our problem. We've outside of the first 11, 12, we don't have anything. Whereas you go back to, like you were talking about Manchester United, that year they went and did the treble. What do they have? York, Cole, Solskjaer, Sheringham. Whereas we're sat there going, we still haven't got a backup to Harry Kane. And yes, it does. You can sit there and say about the stadium, you can sit there and talk about everything. But if they've got ambitions, then why are we not sitting there and saying, okay, Harry Kane, yeah, great, leading goal scorer for the club, we get that. But why? I know the reason why, because obviously it's money and wages and everything else. But I just don't know where we go. I just don't see how we change it, because we do probably need another 6 to 10 players.
Yeah, we do. But for me, I said I want players to join that squad that have got legs. You know what I mean by that? I want players that can run. I want some engines. I like even when you look at, when you look at some of the players other clubs are buying, when you look at players like that Arsenal bought in the last few years, in the likes of William Saliba, the likes of Tomiyasu, these players like Partey, these players have got good engines on them. They can run, they can get around the pitch. Everyone we've signed seems to be a bit lethargic. When you look at Perisic, when you look at even Bentancur, technically he's a lovely footballer, but he's not a get around the pitch type of guy, right? And for me, if you're going to play a two, the two have got to be able to get about and do what N'Golo Kante does, right? Yeah. So for me, I think it needs a whole change, all of it. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to have another conversation about the owners. We know about the owners, but the best times we have had under this ownership has been under Poch, who is a manager doing exactly what I'm suggesting now. So that for me is where I want to revisit. But that doesn't mean that it just has to be one manager coming in and staying forever. I want that manager to come when he goes, the next one to have a similar ethos, so that I'm going around in circles here. One thing I would say, one thing I hate, Barry, is when people say he's not a Conte player or he's not a Jose player. I want us to start bringing in players that are Tottenham Hotspur players, and that we've got an ethos and a mould so we know what a Tottenham player looks like, rather than a Conte, a Jose, a Poch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. Well, it's about having a plan and having a philosophy, right? So that we know if that person goes, if then that person goes, then that person goes. It's yes, people can change and they can have adapt, but where was the whole? I don't remember the time whether they still play the video in the stadium before, where the game is for glory and you see all the clips and everything else,
yeah.
right? Well,
yeah.
Like if I was watching that as a player in the dressing room, that would fire me up. So either they don't watch it, or they're just like, oh, whatever, that was 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago. What do they know? Look at us, blah, blah. They've got people handing them their water bottle or their supplements or anything else when they come. Do you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. I just think that there's just there's no plan. There's no focus. No one knows what we're doing. Look, Pochettino, I think, like with you, I think from a Levy point of view, it fixes that, it keeps the noise, the rumblings down, but it doesn't solve it solves it for Levy, because it solves the fans are still divided, because half the people want Poch back, half the people don't want Poch back. And it'll be I told you he shouldn't have come back. I didn't want him back. And then I'll be like, oh, look what he's done. He's come back. We got top 4. I told you Poch should have come back. So it'll just start. This is the problem. And obviously listening to when you're talking about when people, people in the comments and going across and trying to start things and create like things between other people when there's nothing there. This is the problem. Daniel Levy knows exactly why. It's because the fan base is not united.
No,
so when everyone goes, oh, Man United did these protests. Arsenal did this with Conte. All these other people protested. That's because everyone's together and they understand. The trouble is, no one knows what they want. Someone wants Poch. Someone wants Conte. Someone wants top 4. Someone wants a trophy. Someone wants egg and bacon. Someone wants sausage and chips. Do you know what I mean?
No, I completely agree.
I think part of it. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people in the comments are being paid to be in those comments to create and whip up all this, drama and everything else. I know it's a big conspiracy theory, but you never know, right?
You never know. Look, at the end of the day, look, there are going to be fans sitting at home going, "What's all the fuss about? We're all right. We're fourth. Yeah. It's all good. What's the problem?" But I like to, and I think lots of fans do as well, I like to look beyond 1 year. Like, so many people have, like, even this chat started with someone going, "Oh, are you happy now, Sava? I bet we don't get fourth because Conte's gone." And I'm like, I don't care if we get fourth on. Like if that's your barometer of success for 1 year, which is why I never dig at the bigger clubs. Right? This is why I never, even when they're below us for a moment in time, Barry, this is why I do not dig at them, because football changes like that. This time last year, we're all mocking Arsenal, right, for absolutely bottling top 4. Now they are 20 points ahead of us. Like, that's an amazing swing. So I never belittle those clubs for that very reason. But for me, for all of this to change, I think he's got to go immediately. I think it was always going to end in a kind of volatile, vitriolic way because of his temperament and because of who Daniel Levy is. Yeah. And we're literally, if he does go this week, it's literally just speeding up what was going to happen at the end of May anyway, isn't it? Isn't this just bringing it forward a few months?
Yeah, it's 10 games. Like you say, it's 10 games. What does it really matter? I guess the only thing that matters is if he stays and he's not getting paid the whatever it is, the payout plus the release clause and everything else. So what? I don't know. I'm just waiting. Everyone, you know what it is? Everyone is hovering over. They've got everything predicted, right? They've got the banners ready. They've got the thumbnail ready. They've got everything with Conte out, and they're waiting on StreamYard to go live. And
mate, I'm not going to lie to you. Listen, most YouTubers are ready. Like, I think the first thing when it came out the other day, what was it, Monday? It came out that, oh my God, Conte's going to walk in. Conte's getting the sack in the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
Everyone would have contacted their thumbnail guy or girl, right, and
Yeah.
gone, get me. All I need is a picture of Conte and 2 words: Conte sacked. Right? I've got one. Of course, I've got one. Right? Because what no YouTuber wants to do is go, oh my God, Conte's been sacked. Hang on, let me quickly whip up a. Do you know what I mean?
But you haven't. You went for 2 words, and you shouldn't have gone for Conte out. You should have gone for Gonte.
Gonte. I've missed it, haven't I? Missed it.
So get onto your thumbnail person. Quick, Barry said something clever for once.
I like my thumbnail. I like my fun. It's all right. Just quickly, there are 302 of you in the chat. Please keep smashing the like button. Please keep subscribing. We've had a lot of subscribers this week. We're chasing down the 4K. Show some love. Subscribe to all the other Spurs channels as well. Show the love. They're all giving you content, whether you agree with them or not. They're creating debate. They're creating a platform for you to be able to go in and debate. Without them, it would be a very boring world. Paratici. Lots of noise today. Again, all noise, all rumours. I've heard, Dave heard, that he's going to go. Now, for me, it makes perfect sense if Conte's going to do the director of football at the same time. There's a lot of cloud hanging over his head with the whole, what's the word? The scandal, should we say, the financial scandal in Italy. I think this would be the right time for both if it's going to happen. What's your feelings on that?
Yeah, look, I think, I think it is the right time. There's uncertainty over, whether he's going to go to jail, not go to jail, whatever the bans that he's got. Obviously in Italy, the only country he can do business with, it seems, is Italy, and he's banned from doing anything there. So why are we paying him? Why do we sit there and pay him to do that? I mean, I guess we sit there and pay the guy to get naming rights. So I suppose it's not really much of a difference because we still pay him and there's no naming rights. But I think it is the perfect time. I think it's, especially for, maybe a manager that doesn't necessarily work under a director of football or likes a director of football doing things. And, and obviously Poch, we know that prefers not to have one. So I think it's the right time to get rid of both and a few others. Why stop at 2? Get rid of a few others that aren't pulling their weight or doing what we need to do. Like we've said, we need a whole reset. So whether that means that, the head of academy, whether that means whoever, just get them all out. Get them all out. One foul swoop.
Yeah, I think now's listen. I've always been a big advocate of the master reset, which does involve the owners. I've also been level-headed enough to say that's not happening. So the next best thing for me is if you've got a reset with a director of football and the manager, the director of football being reset also means scouting changes. And I think it would be wonderful for, like, in my head, the dream scenario is that a forward-thinking pressing manager comes in, but more importantly, that a director of football does that is also forward-thinking, and that they sit down whenever it is now, the beginning of the summer, whatever, and go, right, where are we going? Where are we now? What are we doing for the next 5 years? Who are we scouting? How can we do what Brighton have done and scouting those brilliant players? How can we do what Arsenal have done? Scouting Martinelli, Saliba, those sort of players. That's what I want to see. I know it's a pipe dream and what I want doesn't really matter. I say that to the wife every time she says, where do you want to go for dinner? But that's what I would love to see. I'd love to think that they're on that page, 2 new people coming in. What I don't want is a new manager to come in and just have to work under the direction of Paratici, because what I've seen so far from Paratici, I've not been blown away at all. I'm not sure if you're still there. I might just talk to myself, but hey, it is what it is. Don't worry, Barry just nipping there. I reckon he's been told off by his wife or something. What do you guys make? Everyone in the chat, yes or no? Let's play another yes or no game. Should we, if Conte goes, should we be looking to get rid of Paratici at the same time? This is the man that brought in Nuno, was trying to bring in Gattuso. He's brought in Conte. He's made 17 signings. Have they all worked out? Are we looking stronger? Is he buying the right personalities? Is he being hamstrung by Levy? So, yes, you want him to walk, or you want him to be sacked, or no, you don't. Yes to go, no to stay. Okay? Yes to go, no to stay. Right, let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay, out. Yes, Paratici out. The Seville director of football is insanely good. I think the Bayer Leverkusen director of football as well is very good. Look, yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern. Yes. Oh God, yes. Cost of gas is high. Get rid of Paratici. Love it. The man is a fraud. I think he's part of the fun. Yeah, I agree. Let's have a look. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, no. Oh, so okay, you mean yes, get out of the club, yeah. Yeah, I think what we're seeing there is a lot of people that want Paratici to go as well. I've not been enamored. I've not seen what's really changed. When you look at his first window, other than Romero, he's brought in Sarr, who in 2 years has had about 2 games. Brian Hill, who's out on loan. Galini, who was here and then went. Who was the other player that came in that window? Hill, Galini, Sarr, Romero, and Royal, who we've had to look. You bought in Royal and then had to go and buy a brand new right wing back a year later. His second window, he went and got the 2 players he knew in Bentancur and Kulusevski, and everyone was raving about it. Then you've got the third window, which was the summer window, where you look at Jed Spence. And we could say that was Levy signing, but this is still under him as director of football. Jed Spence, Fraser Forster, Perisic, Basuma. How many of all these 7 players he bought have made an impact? So for me, I don't think he's done a good job. I would get rid of him. Diggs has said we need Paul Mitchell and Poch back. Can you imagine Paul Mitchell coming back to work for Levy? I don't disagree with you, but could you see it? I can't see it at all. The multi-channel has said, get them all out. Guys, we're going to go for another 15 minutes. Before we do, can I kindly ask, if anyone hasn't subscribed, please go and subscribe. There are 315 of you in here. I am sure there'll be at least 50 of you that haven't subscribed. Please do. We're chasing down that 4K. When we get to the 4K, we'll do a huge giveaway as well. Yeah, absolutely. Check out Mia's channel, Spurs Between the Lines. And yeah, if Mia's on nearly 250 subs, go and subscribe to Mia. Get her up to that 500 mark. Show love to the Spurs content creators. It takes a lot of your time, and it's also taking my voice. So before we move on, if we can get even 5 more of you to go over and subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely amazing. I've put the link in the chat. So overwhelmingly, people want Paratici to go as well. Any names of directors of football that people would like to see other than Paul Mitchell? I think everyone wants Paul Mitchell, but is there anyone realistic? Campos, maybe? Would anyone want Campos? The Bayer Leverkusen director of football, would anyone want him? Let me know. Let's see. Let me know. Let's get some names. Let's see if any names have started coming in. Let's have a look. No names as of yet, unless I'll catch up with the chat. No worries, Mia. Big up. Everyone should be showing some love to the Spurs community, right? Let's make this a nicer place for people to be. That's it. Subscribe to the creators. Jimmy has said Dybala was right there. Desperate to join Spurs, but Paratici's personal issues with him stopped us signing him. A world-class player, but he went for a Richarlison. He actually makes me sick. I think the key thing is when you look at Dybala and Ericsson were both free transfers in the summer. And the fact that we didn't get one of them. The rumours are that Conte turned down both of them and that he turned down Maddison. If he turned down the chance to have Ericsson, Dybala and Maddison, or even one of the three or two of the three, even more reason why I do not want the man at this football club. I'm sorry. Just quickly, Barry's just sent me about a few minutes ago. He's sent me a funny story that I just thought we should read out. Have a look at this, people. Have a look at this. Can you see that? Can everyone see that? That a referee used a mobile phone from a spectator, from one of the fans, so that he could look at the replay and see that it wasn't a goal. I think that is brilliant. It's got nothing to do with Spurs. I just thought that was very funny. It's the sort of thing you come to expect now within the football community. I just thought that was funny. Yeah, we're going to go for another 10 minutes, guys. Other rumours we've heard this week is that Mason will take the job with Harry Redknapp as an advisory figure, like a kind of Uncle Harry. What are your thoughts on that? Giving his, out the window, Harry, every day at the training ground. What would you think of that? Let me know your thoughts. The Bayer Leverkusen director of football, has unearthed some real gems. How do these clubs do it and we never can? It just makes me laugh. When do we unearth gems? Gogomar, big up to yourself. Hope you're well. One of my favorites. Big up to you. So this is Tony Bloom is the guy at Brighton, I think. Is it Tony Bloom? Campos, someone saying we need a Paul Winstanley type. The Brentford or Brighton scouting team. They've done brilliant, both those clubs, to be fair, haven't they, with the players they've brought in. Thank you to the two people that just subscribed. We're going to go for another 5 minutes and then we'll wrap up. Jonas has said, when was the last time we had an enjoyable game to watch? Exactly. We don't do enjoyable. We don't do enjoyable under Conte. Yeah, the VAR mobile phone version. Exactly. I mean, how funny is that? Can you imagine? Hang on, let me have a... Yeah, it's off. Harry the Ledge, if he didn't turn his head to England, I loved Spurs under Harry. I loved it. I enjoyed watching us play. It was fun. It was so much fun. And then we've had people like Conte and Jose and Nuno since. Mr. Box Office, I'm going to end in 5 minutes, my man. I'm going to end in 5 minutes, so there's probably no point me bringing you on. But I'll be going live on Friday. You can come on then. Is that a picture of Piers Morgan in a Spurs shirt? I'm not sure what that means. Someone got Piers Morgan here. Harry was asked that on TalkSport. Get him in. Yeah, get him in as manager. Let's get him in. Let's get 2 flying wingers, 2 centre forwards, and let's play some bloody football, shall we? Kevin has said, I would take Redknapp back in a heartbeat. Loved watching Spurs under him. Me too. Compare what we watch now to under Redknapp. Oh, I loved it. The Liverpool recruitment guy have a job. I'm not sure which name that is. I'm not sure who that is. But if anyone else in the chat can clarify. Adam has said Hoddle for director. Good shout. Glenn Hoddle. Would he want it? Does he need that stress? Spurs Live. Big up, my man. Haven't seen you for ages. How are you, dude? You all right? I said, question, reappointing Poch isn't like an escape route for Levy. Knowing all the fans want Poch back, Levy will sort of win the fans. Listen, I said this a year ago. I said, when it doesn't work with Conte, my feeling is that he will pull a rabbit out of a hat. And I'm sure if any of you watch me regularly, you would have heard me say that Redknapp will pull a rabbit Redknapp. Got Redknapp on the mind now. That Levy will pull a rabbit out of the hat, bring back Poch, and what he does there, Spurs Live, like you and I know, is he pacifies most of the fan base by bringing back the favourite. Levy is not a silly man. That's the thing. He's not a silly man. Yes. Mike Bassett. People, we're going to end the show in 5 minutes. You've been amazing today with the likes. We have got so far, how many likes? So we've got 170, 200 likes, which is phenomenal. Can we get, we are 11 off of 3,800. Can we get 11 more subs from anyone in the chat? Even 5 more. Please, if everyone could go over and do that right now, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely brilliant. You don't need to know my name. One of the best names on YouTube has said, you've seen some of the players' comments on Conte's pipe bomb. Højbjerg's, I found a joke and people think he should be skipper. I did see Højbjerg's comments. I guess it's a tough one for them to answer, right? He's kind of made it untenable. Gary Lineker for Director of Football. Yeah, what for his political views, Audio? Safford Chairman, absolutely. Alex, I literally just said to you, dude, I'm ending the show in like 3 or 4 minutes. There's no point me bringing you on, mate. There's no point. I'll be going live on Friday, and you can speak then. Big up. My Insta's still there, man. My Insta's changed. My Insta is under the Football Heritage TV. Alex said no. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to end the show, people. Come on, get 2 or 3 more subs. Hit that subscribe button. Go away, Jacob. No, you're not coming on. See you later. Barry just dropped, didn't he? Right, guys, I need to go and get ready to go to personal training. My throat is killing me. I've really enjoyed it. I'll be back with some a daily video tomorrow, but I'll be back for another live on Friday afternoon. Join me then. Thank you so much to everyone. Really enjoy these chats. Therapy for Spurs. Therapy for all football fans, really. But much love. Take care. Please subscribe. Please like the video. And I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.